innovative content, global audience.
Hello, a very beautiful morning to you viewers. This is the weekly bulletin where we bring you recap of the week. A lot of things have happened so far within the week that are quite topical and very trending. Some very, very national issues. Of course, today I have with me a legal practitioner who is going to be dissecting some of these issues with me this morning, especially when we talk about electoral issues, when we talk about court cases here and there and proceedings. Of course, and that is why I brought him on the show this morning. I'm Princess Kessy, reaching you live from our SRO TV studio here in London. You're welcome to Weekly Bulletin. I have with me this morning Barrister Daniel Osayede Aziegbe. He is a principal partner, Dan O. Aziegbe and Co. Barristers and Solicitors. Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. Can you hear me? Hello, Barrister.
Good morning. It's a pleasure.
Yes, sir. You're welcome to the show.
Yeah, I'm happy to be with you this morning on studio.
Okay, sir. So, first and foremost, let me hear your thoughts. We had a lot of electoral cases here and there, and there was a major national case that, of course, we saw the judgment also 2 days ago. Now, what's your take about that judgment? Let's even start from there.
All right, thank you. It is true that of recent there have been series of electoral matters pending in different tribunals or courts in Nigeria. The latest one is the one having to do with presidential election. And recently, precisely on the 6th of this month, September 2023, judgment was delivered by the tribunal concerning the presidential election.
Okay, network, please be friendly this morning. This is a serious issue we have to discuss on the show today. Of course, we know that the election has come and gone. How many months ago, we had a president and issues arose. Like every election of course, anytime you have elections, you must have court cases, you must have electoral issues. It's here, it's normal. And then we saw the judgment also, which, hello, Barrister, can you hear me now? Hello. We saw the judgment also.
Hello.
Yes, your network is not very good, sir, because we can barely hear you from here, but go ahead, sir.
Yeah, you see, the judgment has been delivered, and this one happened a few days ago, precisely on the 6th of September 2023. As usual, if there is room for appeal, the dissatisfied parties will have the opportunity to lodge an appeal. The judgment that was delivered on the 6th of this month, one of the parties indicated his willingness to go beyond the court of first instance, that is the court of appeal. There is room for appeal. And since the party who came out on television yesterday said the judgment was unacceptable, it means there will be an appeal to a higher court, that is Supreme Court of.
Okay, network issues again. Now we are aware that after that judgment 2 days ago, we saw that PDP and of course Labour Party insisted that they are proceeding to the Supreme Court. Now, sir, okay, we have network issues once again. Yes. I know as well that the Labour Party did allege that every single petition was trashed. And that is why I actually brought in a legal practitioner on the show today. I am not a legal practitioner. He is. And they insist that it was unfair judgment. Hello, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, we have said it is true. Some people said so that it is an unfair judgment. But
Because
as
the
a
Labour
legal
Party
practitioner,
believe that every single petition was actually trashed. That is what they alleged. Every aspect of the petition was trashed. And they described that judgment as unfair.
yes, thank you very much. You see, the people who were put there to constitute the panel that delivered their judgment considered in the to the best of their own ability and knowledge all the facts presented before the tribunal or court, and the judgment, the final judgment, was based by them on the available facts. They supported themselves with legal authorities, and what their decision is their own decision, is their opinion, their own decision concerning the election based on the available evidence. But
Evidence.
any party who is not satisfied is at liberty to go on appeal to the Supreme Court, and that is exactly what some we are expecting will happen. So if it happens and the Supreme Court says their decision is not it's not the one expected, the judgment will be, the appeal will be allowed. The judgment of the lower court will be quashed. So it is better to wait for the outcome of whatever the Supreme Court is going to say. So now as a lawyer, I regard the matter as sub judice. That is still, since
What
there's
does
going to
that
be
mean,
there's
sir?
an
What does
appeal.
that mean? What does that mean to a lay person?
Hello? Do you hear
Yes,
me
sir.
now?
What does that mean to a lay person?
Yeah, what it means is that that is not the final judgment. The
Okay.
final judgment will come when it gets to Supreme Court. The judgment that was delivered a few days ago is not necessarily the final judgment. So there is need to comply with the conditions that may be given by Court of Appeal officials to enable the matter go higher than where it has just been concluded. So when there is an appeal, it means the matter is still pending, it's not final.
Now, sir, what do you think would have been the reaction of both parties and, of course, some Nigerians if the judgment was to be the other way around?
Definitely, if the judgment was the other way around, those who wished it to be so will start to rejoice. They will be happy. But those who say interest, the judgment went against, will not be satisfied. And of course, that is why there is provision for appeal whenever a judgment is delivered in any case. If a judgment is delivered in any case and there's room for appeal, the party that is not satisfied will lodge an appeal and go higher. In this case now, there is provision for appeal. It's not the final court of trial. It's not the final court. The Supreme Court is the final court that somebody can get to in Nigeria. It's the highest. Unlike those days when the African Court of Appeal anymore. That is called WACA, WACA. So, in the absence of West African Court of Appeal, the highest court in Nigeria is the Supreme Court of Nigeria. So, they still have a step more to go before they can say they have no option anymore. So, the Supreme Court is the final court. And when they finish from there, decide that we win, we start to jubilate. That is the position.
Now, sir, with the evidence provided so far, and then we saw how that judgment went. Now, this aggrieved party did say they are proceeding to the Supreme Court, but we saw on the news this morning a lot of people, governors, people the same opposition saying that there is no need, they don't see grants for that. because they feel it's a waste of resources, that the judgment is going to come back the same. Now, with your view as a legal practitioner now, what do you think will be the outcome, or what do you foresee at the end of the day?
Yeah, thank you very much. It is true that a lot of people have said, going by the judgment that was delivered a few days ago, if it goes to Supreme Court, the same judgment will come out. Well, it is difficult for a legal practitioner to come out with certainty to say the judgment must be the same. I cannot subscribe to that. It depends on the people that will sit at the Supreme Court to examine what happened and also look at the facts presented before court. And if they look at the facts presented before court, they are the people that can say, oh, the judgment will be the same, or there will be a change. After all, we have so many cases that have gone from Court of Appeal to Supreme Court, and they are changed. They were changed. So we can't say, a legal practitioner is not supposed to say, it must be the same. It's not, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I just believe the Supreme Court will look at everything available. But one thing that's embarrassed me is that the tribunal said the people who served as polling agents, who witnessed how the elections, the votes were counted, none of them was called, even though there were about 130-something names of people that ought to have come. At least some of them would have come. That one was a kind of embarrassment, and nobody remembered. Nobody remembered. However, that is what the tribunal said. And if that is what happened, I don't know if they came to give evidence or so. So that is the only area I see. But the other aspect definitely have to do with legal authorities. The law is clear on every issue. If the law is followed clearly, whatever judgment that the court or tribunal may reach will be justified. So I don't really want to say this is what
all right, sir.
people
now,
have said. Therefore, I will
yes, the former president Muhammadu Buhari did say the democracy and people won. He did applaud the tribunal for that judgment. Now, in your opinion, do you think that judgment is actually reflecting the will of all Nigerians? Like he did say, Nigerians are one and democracy won. What's your opinion on that statement?
Yeah, you see, I will not want to say the tribunal erred in their judgment. I won't want to say so. And I will not want to say they are right. I won't say they are right. I won't say they erred. So I'm just at the middle.
Now, sir, we saw also that
categorically it's supposed to be like this based on the proceedings. So since the proceedings are not here before me, I'm not able to say they are right or they are wrong.
Now I understand you perfectly.
So it's not a question of democracy now, because when we are talking about democracy, you don't apply some things to truncate democracy. So I don't think it's democracy we are really talking about, because democracy is government by the people and for the people, and so on. So I don't think democracy we are talking about now.
Yes, sir. That statement did
come again. Sorry, the line is breaking.
Yes, I said that statement did came from the former president Muhammadu Buhari.
Yeah, but if there is a statement from the former president Muhammadu Buhari, I think the statement will just represent his personal opinion. I won't be able to say he's right or wrong. So it's definitely everybody is entitled to his or her own opinion. So that may be his own opinion. My opinion may be different from his own. I'm not condemning his opinion at all. But whatever he has said is his own opinion, and it will not be okay for me to just say I agree with him or I disagree with him. No. So his opinion remains what it is, which he's entitled to. And I'm entitled to my own opinion towards a Nigerian. And that is, this one is entrenched in the Constitution, which is supreme.
Wow. Yes, sir.
So it's not. I won't say because he has said so as a former head of state. What he has said, I will agree or disagree. No, it's not so. But by the time I'm privileged to see the proceedings of this tribunal or the proceedings that led to the judgment of a few days ago, I will be able to say it's supposed to be like this or it is like this. But I'm not able to say so now.
Now, sir, in your view as a legal practitioner, what do you think the PDP and the Labour Party, how have they fought it? What is it you thought that they've not done well during that proceedings? Hello, sir, can you hear me?
I hear you now. So please take it again.
I said, in your view as a legal practitioner, what is it you think that the Labour Party and, of course, the PDP did not get right during these court proceedings?
Yes, thank you very much. Definitely, the PDP and the Labour Party went on appeal after the announcement of results of the election. And at the end of the day, they went to the tribunal, which led to the judgment a few days ago. I'm not able to say what they didn't do because I was not one of those that featured in the tribunal. I was not at the tribunal to watch the proceedings. And the judgment has come out. That's all we know. But the proceedings are yet to come out. It's when we are privileged to see the proceedings, we're able to comment properly about the outcome of the case in court. In the absence of that, there will be speculation which may not guide us properly. So I'm very much reluctant to air my opinion.
Now, sir, you know that during that proceedings that the Labour Party alleged. Can you hear me, sir?
I hear you now, yes.
Yes, the Labour Party did allege on the day of the court proceeding that INEC reduced their scores and added them to APC's votes, but failed to supply particulars of what they actually scored before this the said reduction. Not did they supply the polling units where it happened. Now,
yes.
Would you say this would be
yes.
one of the
definitely I heard that the scores were reduced. You see, everything that goes to court is subject to proof.
Okay.
Anything at all that goes to court is subject to proof. If you make an allegation about something, it is taken to court. The law says you have to prove it in line with the requirements of the law. It is clearly stated in the Evidence Act that onus of proof depends or is in the hands of the person who is making an allegation. That is the law. So if there was such an allegation is subject to proof, they have to prove it. And if they can prove it, it will be accepted. Or if it is not accepted, that's the essence of appeal. You appeal and tell the whole world or tell the court that what you have alleged was proved in line with your allegation. In spite of that, the court erred by not accepting what you have said. Then the Court of Appeal will look at it holistically.
Now, sir, we know also that our fingers are crossed. People are actually waiting for that move as the Labour Party and PDP as well heads to the Supreme Court. Now, as a legal practitioner, I know that you don't want to be like you said, you did not follow the proceedings, and we saw that they were, according to some of the judgment, lack of evidence, like you did pointed out as well. And now, when they go to that Supreme Court, sir, I asked that question before. You did say that you, as a lawyer, you cannot speak on the expectations. But with this, the evidence we've seen so far, sir, is what we are capitalizing on. Should there be hope for them, or we should just move on? This is the questions a lot of people are asking, sir.
Yeah, the problem here is that If you go to Supreme Court on appeal, the Supreme Court will not invite people to come to give evidence afresh. The Supreme Court will only look at what is on record. They will look at the proceedings, and then the proceedings constitutes the record of the case. And it is when they read what is contained there, they will know whether the judgment already delivered is right or wrong. If it is not in the proceedings, if certain things expected are not contained in the proceedings, the appeal goes to nowhere. So that's the only problem that can be associated with this kind of issue. So when we see the proceedings, one will be able to come out with a definite opinion as to what the judgment is supposed to be, if that is not what has been followed. But in the absence of proof in the proceedings, if you like, you go on appeal to Supreme Court or any other court, the judgment will remain what it is based on the available evidence in court. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to explain.
Yes, sir. Now, as a lay person, I'm going to ask you this.
Yes.
When they go to the Supreme Court, yes, more evidence, more than what we saw before, will that count as well?
They cannot start fresh evidence.
Okay. Because
it's only in the court of first instance you file this evidence. If you go to Supreme Court, for example, you are not going to come out with fresh evidence. Even in the Court of Appeal that has just been concluded, the Court of Appeal said there's no room for amendment. The very day you are coming to Court of Appeal to lodge your complaint by way of petition, you are supposed to file everything that same day. And if that is the case, the question here is, were the petitioners, the people who filed petition, were they able to get all the facts they needed the very first day they took a decision to go to court? That is a big question. And if the whole thing was not filed that day, and you came later to say you want to amend your original proceeding or your original papers, the tribunal has said you have no right to file again later. No room for amendment. That is what the tribunal said. And if that is correct, then where do they go to from there is the issue. So there's a problem. There's a problem. And as far as I'm concerned, this one handle so that things can be adjusted later, because in the ordinary course of business in court, there is provision amendment in line with the Evidence Act for amendment. Even before judgment is delivered, there's provision in law for amendment. But election proceedings appear to be very different from the normal court proceedings. And that is the problem I see in that place. So there may be need for National Assembly to take note of this and carry out an amendment sooner or later.
Wow.
In every proceedings, there's supposed to be room for amendment. In every proceedings, there's supposed to be room for amendment. When they institute an action, some facts may emerge later while the matter is already pending, which may necessitate amendment. Incidentally, even when the proceedings in the recent case were going on, there were motions filed, and the motions were granted by the same tribunal, allowing amendments to be effected. Even additional witnesses were allowed, but it turned out at the end of the day, it was a wasteful exercise on the part of those who filed different motions.
Wow. Well, I never knew that as a layperson that you cannot proceed with new evidence. That is where the problem might just be for them. Who knows? We see how that goes. We await that move. They are going to the Supreme Court, and of course, both parties as well. We see how that goes, and we just watch. Viewers, this is Weekly Bulletin, where we bring you the highlights of the week. And of course, we knew as a Nigerians, we knew what happened some days ago. It was the major highlight of the week for me and for every Nigerian as well. And that is why the issue of these electoral proceedings, the presidential judgment, is quite topical. We'll go on a quick break now. When we return, we'll continue with this broadcast. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us. We'll be right back after the break.
Thank you.
SR TV. Innovative content, global audience.
Hello, viewers. You're welcome back from that quick break. Yes, I am still here with Barrister Daniel. Of course, he has been doing justice to these electoral proceedings. And we've seen that he said quite a lot. Sir, can you sit up for us to see your face a little, sir?
Yes, please. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Now, sir, away from the electoral proceedings, we await how that move will go. But let me ask you, when we talk about local government in our society, people seem see them though. I spoke about local government last week, and there was a little bit of uproar here and there. People feel like they are not being functional very well because they don't have their own resources now. What do you think can be done as a legal practitioner, sir?
You are talking about local government now.
Yes, sir.
What can be done to make them have their money directly, yes, their allocation, yes, from federal government?
Yes, because we remember that the former president did say that they are supposed to be receiving their own money should be paid to them directly. A lot of people feel like local government schema, they don't tend to do much. They just sit there doing nothing. They only take orders from above. And of course, as well, we see that some of the lawmakers, they go to National Assembly to be requesting, telling you, I'm doing this project, pipe water, road. This meant for councillors to do. What do you think can be done?
Yes, thank you. It's a simple thing, very simple indeed. If they make up their minds to do the right thing that is necessary, or something that will be of good benefit to the people concerned, the allocation from federal government to the various local government council areas in this country, Nigeria, is supposed to be channeled straight to local government councils, but they don't do it like that. They involve the various state governors who will dictate how money will be sent to their local government council areas. I see it as an aberration. I see it as a mistake which can be corrected anytime. The number of local government council areas we have in Nigeria is known by federal government. They know. And if they are to send money directly or allocation directly to the various local government council areas, it's not difficult to do. But because of selfishness, they send it to, they don't send it straight to federal, to the various local government council areas. As a result, they are tampered with. And it is the one holding the money that will dictate how it will be done or how it will be spent. So if they want things to go in a straightforward manner, it is still federal government that will say money should go straight to various local government council areas. And when they do that, the various local government council areas will be able to sit down to say they will do this for their people, and they will really do it. But in the absence of that, if they are to take permission from another authority before they can even spend their money, it will not go the way they want, but it will go the way the authority holding it will tell them to do it. So this is where the problem is.
Now, we have a law regarding the local government autonomous, because a lot of people have the opinion that there are no laws, or maybe the laws might not just be working well.
It's not correct to say there's no law talking about local government autonomy. We know there are laws talking about local government autonomy, but it is a different thing to say you are sending allocation to them and you do not send it to them to enjoy the autonomy we are talking about. So the fault is still from that center. The fault should be corrected by center, and that is federal government of Nigeria. That will make it mandatory for the money to be sent straight to the local government concerned. They know about the local government, and no local government is in existence without the recognition of federal government of Nigeria. Therefore, federal government of Nigeria should do the needful by acknowledging in every ramification the autonomy of the various local government council areas in this country.
Now, sir, I'm going to take
what I'm saying, therefore, what I'm saying, therefore, is that this allocation should be sent straight to the various local government council areas, not through another channel.
Okay, and
not through another channel. Yes.
Sir, away from that, we saw that the defense minister did say calling on Nigerians for prayers against insecurity. Now, as a legal practitioner, we want to have your take on this. We know that Nigeria is a country that when we talk about prayers, they know how to pray a lot. But of course, insecurity has become a major canker devouring Nigeria for years. And now we have a new minister. He made a statement that he's calling on Nigerians for prayers for them to be able to tackle insecurity. Now, what's your take on this as a legal practitioner?
Thank you very much. You see, when you pray to God to grant your heart desire. But you see, it is written in the Bible that prayer without works has no meaning. If you pray, even if you do not eat, you pray from here till tomorrow concerning a particular issue. It is not that God does not answer. God answers prayers. But take note, there are people who are ready to subvert what you are praying about. This is why action has to follow prayers. If you pray, you make sure there is action that will follow your prayers. It is only then it works. So Nigerians are known to be prayerful. Definitely they are very, very prayerful in Nigeria. We are very, very prayerful in Nigeria. But prayer without works has no meaning. That is the bottom line of the whole thing. So the banditry we talk about in Nigeria, in some aspects we call it kidnapping. In some areas we call it banditry. We are the people that gave these various names to them. They will say somewhere in the country we call it banditry. Somewhere in the same country, elsewhere, you call it kidnapping. Then in some cases you call the whole thing armed robbery. So the different names are given to the same activity in different parts of Nigeria. That is not even the issue. The issue is that to check banditry, to check kidnapping, to check armed robbery, there are certain things that must be done. And some of them include doing some things that will make the people move their minds from crimes. Recently, an arrangement was made for people to be enriched after the removal of fuel subsidy. These monies were sent to particular authorities, in particular governors of the various states. It's a pity that it's like that, because to even share the money allegedly allocated is going to pose a problem, because it will not get to the roots. It will not get to the people who are really entitled to benefit from same. So whether you call it banditry, you call it kidnapping, you call it any name, the problem still remains that the center is yet to wake up.
Now, on that note, a lot of Nigerians are of the opinion that the service chiefs should be moved out of the Federal Capital Territory to state where we need where the insecurity is really, really on the rise. For instance, they are saying they should move them to the northeast and other places, parts of the country where we have a lot of crisis. Now, do you stand with this opinion?
Come again, please. I didn't
Now,
get that.
a lot of Nigerians feel the service chiefs are not supposed to be resident or permanent in Abuja. They are supposed to be at the states where we have major crisis, insecurity issues. Do you share the same opinion?
The insecurity of a thing, in my opinion, can be checked if majority of the people have food on their table. But as of today,
And then so
very many, majority of our people in Nigeria.
Can you hear me, sir?
I hear you now.
Now, sir, are you
I hear
not
you
trying
now.
to say?
Yes.
I said a lot of Nigerians are the opinion that because of the surge in insecurity, just some days ago we saw that 30 persons were kidnapped in a remote area of Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, and this is something we've seen over the years in other states: killings, kidnappings, and a lot of ravaging. Now, Nigerians, a lot of them are of the opinion that our service chiefs should move out of the Federal Capital Territory to places where we have these major crises. Okay, we have little network issues there. Hello, sir. Can you hear us now? We can't hear you. Your volume it's low, or maybe it's network. Hello, sir. Okay, I think we have network issues there. Yes, I was going to ask. A lot of Nigerians have the opinion that Nigerians are our service chiefs should be up and doing. They need to go to the states. They need to put their base there. They need to move from one place to another to make sure that insecurity becomes a thing of the past. But how will that work? We know that we have all these people in Abuja, so sometimes they don't really feel the heat of what the common man or Nigerians are actually going through, because I feel like Abuja is kind of secure and safe, and they are just there, in their offices, whereas they're supposed to be on ground. Anyway, we'll see how that go. We have our guest back on the show with us. Hello, sir. Can you hear me now? Hello, sir. Okay, we cannot hear you we can't hear you at all. We can't hear you. I think you need to unmute your sound, or maybe you go off and come back. We can't hear you, sir. We can't hear you at all. You need to unmute your sound. Unmute your sound. Unmute your sound. Unmute. We can't hear you.
Are you okay with me?
I can hear you now. Yes.
You can hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you very much. The service chiefs issue you raised that are basically based at Abuja, my reaction is this. The service chiefs as individuals cannot do the work.
Okay.
They cannot do the work alone without lieutenants, without people supporting them. That is why they have people in different states of the Federation of Nigeria. There's no way they can do it alone. So now that they have people who support them, who are based in the various states of the Federation of Nigeria, they are supposed to do the work efficiently.
All right.
It is not a private matter which will really require their presence everywhere. It's not possible. You cannot be omnipotent or present. Now, they are at Abuja to look at the various states. They send signals, they send messages to the various states. What they want people to do in the various states, they are able to send messages from Abuja to the various states. And there are people assigned to do whatever directive they give out to them. So it is not where they are based that matters. They cannot on their own go be everywhere in Nigeria. As they have people working for them in different states, in all the states of the Federation, that one is very much in order. The problem there is the people to be taken care of, the people to be cared for who live in different parts of the country. It is the responsibility of government. It is the responsibility of government, not service chiefs, to ensure that these people are taken care of, whether they live in the corners or nooks of the society is not the issue. Wherever they are, the comfort of government, the governance can be extended to them, and they will reap the full benefits of government wherever they may be. When that is done, you take care of people who live in villages, who live in towns, then there will be pleasure, there will be joy everywhere. Nobody will look at service chiefs. Service chiefs, they are where they are. In their comfort zone, in their various offices at Abuja, they can give directives that can extend to the remotest in this country, Nigeria. So it's not the fault of service chiefs at all. The service chiefs are doing their best where they are. They have people in their various states to carry out their own directive. And if government is good, the people will enjoy it. So it is not, the service chiefs do not have any blame to share. That is my opinion.
Well said. And now, sir, we did hear Barrister, the President Tinubu, a comment coming from him saying that Nigeria in poor leadership management. This is coming from the President, and a lot of people, I follow that trend carefully even this morning. Now, a lot of people are saying that that should not be coming from the President. Already saw this before you came in, and so let's not begin the blame game as usual. Now, what's your take on that? Nigeria poor in leadership management. That is coming from your President.
Thank you. It's a good question. I like the question. We are talking about leadership in Nigeria. It's a problem, not so?
Yes.
We've had series of leaders. All of them cannot be problems. Some of them are able to monitor what is happening in the various states. Some are very good. Some may not be good, but they would have put in their best. And their best may not necessarily be the best of the society. So each person that is put there, we want to put his own best. But his best may not necessarily be the best of the common man. So that is a matter that depends on the individual. Depends on the individual.
Wow.
We have had the leaders who have performed very well, to the admiration of the people, including myself.
Okay.
But there are some who have failed Nigeria. So they are there. There's no doubt about that. But if you confront them, they will tell you they are putting their best. And that's the best they could have offered.
Yes, sir. We saw also that that is Nigerians are a little bit stunned because that statement did come from the President himself.
You mean the last one?
Yes, that statement that Nigeria in poor leadership management came from the President Tinubu Ahmed. Okay,
that the current President Tinubu Ahmed said Nigeria is poor at leadership management.
Yes.
Well, it's his opinion. Yeah, it's his opinion. It's his opinion. That's the way I look at it. But he is the current president, and he has to be very careful over his own statements, because the state we are in Nigeria today, it was caused by just statements made by a president that there will be no more fuel subsidy, and people capitalized on it. Today, we cannot move well in the society because of fuel subsidy, he said, was removed. And that statement was just a kind of bomb to the entire society, because fuel issue affects every activity in this country. Movement, it affects it. To move foodstuff, it affects it. To move to the office, it affects it. To do anything at all that needs to be done with fuel, it will affect it. So the current president, you said, made this statement. Well, it's all right. So let's say take it as his opinion. But statements made just like that can be very unfortunate, may have very unfortunate effects. So that is his opinion, and I don't see it as a welcome opinion.
Yes,
Thank you.
just before we let you go, Barrister, now we saw there's a particular issue I really want you to address before you leave. We see in a society where the securities, they are supposed to be the eyes of the people. They are now the one people, when you go to developed country, when you see security people, you feel comfortable, you feel safe. But maybe just in Nigeria, people see policemen and they're scared because you don't know what next might happen to you. Now we saw DSS going into the market yesterday, opened fire, and a lot of commotion and people. Somebody died as well, while others injured. Now, what do you think we can do in a country where you know how busy a market is, and then you open fire? We see a lot of this accidental discharge here and there. What do you think can be done?
Yes, thank you very much. You see, when people brandish guns indiscriminately in the society without proper care, without proper control, this is what happens. So it boils down to control of ammunition again. There is need to control ammunition properly. Accountability in this regard is essential. And the people in authority in these areas, like you talked about service chiefs just now, they are in a position to give directive as to how ammunition can be controlled. Right now, here and there, they have them here and there. Some of them are used indiscriminately. Even those who are authorized to use it also use these things indiscriminately. And that is what people should look at first and foremost. The service chiefs themselves should look at it properly and ensure that there are people who do not use this ammunition indiscriminately. It is after checking themselves, they can move out to control others that constitute the society itself. So the control of ammunition in this regard is essential, and it has to start from the authority itself.
And then there was a local government election in your state just last week. How would you rate that election, sir?
The local government election that took place last week in my state is a commendable exercise. Okay. And it didn't come to me as a surprise because it has been happening like that. We have seen cases where in most cases, the government in power in that state will monopolize the whole thing. And so when this one came last week, I was not surprised. It was a very credible election as far as I'm concerned, because many people did not even go to vote because they felt it would go the way it went. So if you didn't go to vote, will anybody come to count your vote at home? No. So those who went to vote, their votes were counted. And that's why they came out with the result that was announced. The result is in line with the vote count that took place. So I do not see anything wrong with it at all. I commend those who were even on seats to conduct the election. And they did a very good job. That's my own take. It's my opinion. Because those who sat down at home and expected that they would win, they couldn't have won because a vote, you didn't go to cast vote. You expect vote to go in your favor. It cannot happen. So it was a very credible election. And I commend those who conducted it because they did a good job. That's my opinion about it. Thank you.
Well, we hope that, we do hope sincerely that they will get to work immediately because like we did say earlier, sometimes they are just in their local government doing nothing, and you see women using the secretariat for all kind of businesses that should not be. So we do hope that this.
There is hope, and they will do a very good job. There is hope, provided they are given the money to do it, because the money is not with them for now. They will need to have the money to do what to do the needful, to do what the people like us will expect them to do. So I believe so. I believe so. The people elected are people with integrity. We know some of them because they had worked there before. We know some of them, and I know some of them. They will do a good job. they will do a good job. I believe so. Thank you very much.
Wow, viewers who've been on the show, Weekly Bulletin with barrister Daniel Osayande Azego. He is the principal partner, Dan O. Azego and Co. Barristers and Solicitors in Edo State, Benin City. Thank you so very much, sir, for being on the show today. We appreciate your time. Thank you for giving us, sharing
God
your
bless you.
you did well and you did justice. We appreciate you. Well, thank you also, viewers,
Thank you.
for being greatly, and thank you for being with us. We'll come your way again next week. But before I leave you, don't remember to hit on the notification bell. Please share, like, and invite somebody to the page. Just follow us on our social media handles: Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, Twitter. Make sure you invite somebody to the page, and make sure to leave us with your opinion and your comments as well. We'd love to hear from you. While you are out there, we know that people are grieved. Some are happy, some are grieved as regarding the outcome of the electoral proceedings and, of course, the Court of Appeal judgments. While we await our grief party to head to Supreme Court, be at peace, be calm, and know that everything will be all right. Please, let's give peace a chance. Peace is priceless, so let's give peace a chance. I'll see you again on the show next week. I remain yours truly, Princess Kessy. And remember, do not drink and drive, and make sure to take a lot of water. I'll see you again next week.
SR TV.